Listen, the guy's a big puncher. You can see he's very big and strong and very well built.
That's it, Slim. Very impressed. Shoulder round, good head movement. You're making him miss a lot as well.
Tyson Fury is genuinely shocked by Anthony Joshua's performance in sparring. He highlights how Joshua's power and precision left even his own sparring partner beaten and bruised. Everyone watching realizes Anthony Joshua is on another level, capable of dominating any opponent in the ring.
I like what he's done with himself. He's changed his stars. He's gone from nothing to having everything to be the heavyweight champion of the world. So I got to respect that, respect him how he provides for his family like that. And as he's evolved over the years.
John Fury says Anthony Joshua keeps getting off the floor with thunderous punches and winning. He points out that this kind of determination and power is what makes a true champion. Watching Anthony Joshua in sparring proves his dominance and shows why even the toughest opponents struggle to match his skill and heart.
What did I think of him?
Yeah.
Well, he keeps getting off the floor with thunderous punches and winning.
Even Anthony Joshua's sparring partner explains that his style worked perfectly because he knows exactly how to dominate. He says Anthony Joshua should just go out there and smash these guys, letting his vicious shots do the talking. His power, precision, and confidence make every opponent struggle, proving he is unstoppable in the ring.
His style worked really well because he was the guy that should have boxed in the first place. But apart from that, he should just go out there and just smash these guys, like kind of thing. You should box a bit, just go out there, just let bombs go. Because I can tell you now, the shots that he throws, nobody throws. You know, he really throws some menacing, vicious shots, and he should just do that. Not really, you know, like box too much and do all that sweet science. So he should do that against kind of, you know, Andy Ruiz type, you know, like brawlers type of thing. But other than that, he should just go out there and just really just take people's head off, really. And I think now with, you know, his newfound kind of team and everything, I think they've just really told him, listen, that's what you are, that's who you are, that's what you got to do. And it's good to also be able to box. But, you know, your style is just to go out there and take people out behind the jab and, you know, with combinations and you know, whatever. But don't go out there just trying to, you know, like, be Muhammad Ali or anything.
Joseph Parker admits that Anthony Joshua's power is overwhelming. He says if Joshua lands on you, you are done instantly. Every fighter in the ring quickly realizes that Joshua's punches are devastating, and there's no escaping his strength. His ability to finish fights with a single shot separates him from anyone else in heavyweight boxing today.
Hell, and if he lands on you, you're done, you're out. And I picked the game.
Tyson Fury is shocked by how easily Anthony Joshua overwhelms opponents. He calls it shockingly terrible how Joshua's power and skill leave fighters down and unable to recover. Even seasoned boxers struggle to match his intensity, and his dominance in sparring sessions proves that Anthony Joshua is operating on a completely different level.
Shockingly terrible. Yeah, shockingly, yeah. Down. Very much down. Can't shake it. Can't shake the cup.
Even Jake Paul admits that Anthony Joshua is intense, focused, and towering over him. He struggles to meet Joshua eye to eye, showing the sheer physical presence of a former world champion. Joshua's size, skill, and focus intimidate every opponent, proving he is a fighter no one can easily handle in the ring.
He looks intense, focused, locked in. He's obviously very, very tall. Looking up, my tallest opponent, my eyes are at his, you know, chest level.
Oleksandr Usyk explains why Anthony Joshua would destroy Jake Paul. He says if Joshua wants it, he can finish him easily. Usyk even says he prays for Jake Paul because he knows he cannot match Joshua's power, skill, and experience. Joshua's dominance is clear, and there's no doubt who is superior in this matchup.
It's business, more money. Only this.
So we need to pray for Jake Paul.
Yes. I will pray Jake Paul because I want fight with Jake Paul in octagon.
Benavidez Sr. warns that Jake Paul could be dangerous in theory, but admits the reality is very different. He hints that despite hype, Jake Paul is massively outmatched when compared to Anthony Joshua. Any upset would be extraordinary because Joshua's experience, power, and composure in the ring are unmatched. Joshua has faced real champions and dominated them, and even a fighter with some skill cannot match the level of strategy, physicality, and brutal punching ability that Anthony Joshua brings to every fight. Jake Paul is simply not ready for this challenge.
You know, don't count him out. You know, I think that's a very dangerous fight for Jake Paul. But at the end of the day, you know, we could have a big upset, you know, but...
Piers Morgan notes that Anthony Joshua is at the peak of his confidence and momentum. Every move in training and sparring shows a man who knows his ability and can impose himself on anyone in the heavyweight division. Joshua's confidence makes him almost untouchable, and any fighter facing him would be stepping into the ring with someone who is mentally unstoppable and physically terrifying. This is not just about power, but about control, timing, and dominance that only a former world champion like Anthony Joshua can bring to the ring at this level.
To predict it, all I would say is Joshua is on a real high right.
Eddie Hearn does not hold back in saying that Jake Paul has absolutely no chance against Anthony Joshua. Hearn predicts that anyone underestimating Joshua will be crushed quickly. Anthony Joshua's combination of power, skill, and tactical knowledge ensures that no fighter, especially someone inexperienced like Jake Paul, can survive the punishment. This is not luck or hype, but a reality that everyone in boxing understands. Joshua destroys opponents by breaking them mentally and physically. And Hearn is making it clear that Jake Paul will be completely overpowered from the opening bell.
I think he's got absolutely no chance. I think he's going to get smashed to pieces.
Duke McKenzie explains that Anthony Joshua would never underestimate Jake Paul. He points out that Jake Paul, despite any confidence, is nowhere near the level of a trained athlete. Anthony Joshua's experience and precision would make Jake Paul look amateurish in the ring. Every movement, punch, and combination from Joshua would exploit Paul's inexperience. The physical and technical difference between the two is vast, and this fight highlights the reality that Joshua's skill, preparation, and discipline put him leagues above anyone coming from a YouTube or celebrity background.
I don't think Anthony Joshua would take Jake Paul lightly in any way, shape or form, and it'd be so easy to hit. You're talking about a trained athlete against...
Tony Bellew acknowledges that Jake Paul may have some surprising skills, but emphasizes that it is meaningless against Anthony Joshua, a former unified heavyweight champion. Bellew uses a vivid metaphor to show just how outmatched Paul would be. Joshua's experience, strength, and speed make him a completely different class. Even older, experienced fighters can dominate someone like Paul effortlessly. This highlights that no matter how skilled Jake Paul thinks he is, stepping into the ring with Anthony Joshua is a completely different level of danger, and the gap between them is enormous.
Do you believe he's better than what people think he is?
He is better than people think he is, but doesn't mean you can take on the former unified heavyweight champion of the world. I know some white-collar fighters who are really good, but you ain't getting in with me, and I'm 42. I'll take your whiskers off your chin.
Logan Paul lays out the reality that the experience gap between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua is enormous. Anthony Joshua has faced and knocked out real champions, and his presence in the ring is flawless. Logan points out that comparing a celebrity boxer to a world-class athlete is ridiculous. Anthony Joshua's strength, timing, and perfect technique make him nearly untouchable. Jake Paul may have confidence, but he cannot compensate for the years of elite training and real fight experience Joshua has. Stepping into the ring with a perfect athlete like Anthony Joshua would expose every weakness instantly.
Experience difference, Anthony Joshua was a former heavyweight champion who's knocked out heavyweight champions.
Has he ever tried like Ozempic or Manjaro?
This is a guy who is already perfect.
Okay.
He's perfect.
Okay.
He's like, if you could sculpt like a perfect gladiator human being, it's Anthony Joshua.
Wow.
Yeah.
Alexander Usyk makes it clear that Jake Paul is nowhere near a professional boxer and cannot compete with Anthony Joshua. Usyk highlights Joshua's Olympic background and world-class skill, emphasizing that every movement in the ring is backed by years of elite training. For Jake Paul, this fight is more about hype than skill. Facing Anthony Joshua, a champion who has dedicated his life to mastering boxing, is a completely different challenge from YouTube fame or casual fights. Every expert agrees that Joshua's speed, technique, and experience make him a nearly unstoppable force against someone like Jake Paul.
Last fight, it's great. Because Anthony is Olympic champion, Francis Ngannou, it's second fight for boxing. Listen.
Johnny Nelson emphasizes that Anthony Joshua's size and power alone put him in a completely different league from Jake Paul. The expectation is that Joshua will dominate and end the fight decisively. Nelson points out that the focus is really on how Anthony Joshua manages the fight, because Jake Paul is not a real threat. The pressure is on Joshua to maintain his form and deliver a clear victory, while Paul faces the overwhelming reality of being outmatched physically, technically, and strategically. Joshua's dominance is expected to be brutal and one-sided, showcasing the true difference between an elite champion and an inexperienced celebrity boxer.
Anthony Joshua is bigger than Jake Paul in our world. So there'll be more of a judgment on Anthony Joshua than there will be on Jake Paul, because Anthony Joshua is expected to get this boy blasted out there.
Adam Smith discusses the strategy Anthony Joshua might use, highlighting that Joshua can win at will, but must consider timing and preparation. Being inactive for over a year, Joshua may want to ease into the fight, but his skill and power remain overwhelming. The focus is on his experience and tactical awareness, which allow him to control the fight. Jake Paul, in contrast, has no way to dictate the pace or survive Joshua's measured aggression. Every round will show the clear gap in ability, endurance, and technique. Joshua's dominance is not just physical, but also psychological, making this fight nearly impossible for Paul.
AJ should win whenever he wants to win, but will he want to win early? Will he want to get some rounds in, being inactive for 14 months to prepare him for 2026?
Don Charles outlines why Anthony Joshua is a complete fighter and explains that Jake Paul cannot match any of these attributes. Joshua's punching power alone is devastating, and his physicality makes him imposing in every exchange. Experience at the highest level ensures he can adapt and dominate. Jake Paul has none of these advantages, and even minor mistakes will be punished brutally. Charles highlights that Joshua's combination of power, size, and ring intelligence is far beyond what a YouTube boxer could ever handle. This fight is heavily one-sided in every possible aspect, leaving Paul with very little chance.
All the positives of Anthony Joshua, he has loads of positives. His punching power, his physicality, his experience at this level.
Don Charles admits it is shocking to even consider Jake Paul in the same ring as Anthony Joshua. He stresses that in reality, Joshua is a completely different level, and any fight is heavily in his favor. Charles acknowledges the spectacle and hype, but makes it clear that Joshua's skill, power, and experience are unparalleled. Even if the fight happens, the expectation is that Anthony Joshua will dominate, leaving Jake Paul overwhelmed. The world may have changed in terms of celebrity boxing, but the ring remains a place where true champions like Anthony Joshua prove why they are untouchable.
And I'm surprised at that, because you just wouldn't put Jake Paul in the same ring as Anthony Joshua, surely. But if it's for real, then it's for real. May the best man win. And I know, come on, gosh, this is like, the world has changed,
The fight between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul is a true clash of worlds, with Joshua's Olympic experience and world-class power against Paul's YouTube hype. Anthony Joshua's skill and precision make him nearly untouchable in the ring, while Paul will struggle to survive even a few rounds. If Joshua wins, it proves why he is a true champion. But if Jake Paul shocks the world, it would be the biggest upset in boxing history. The stakes are massive, and every punch counts. Are you backing Anthony Joshua to dominate? Or could Jake Paul pull the impossible upset? Drop your pick. Thoughts below.